welcome to I Care, I Volunteer, a special series focusing on volunteerism in Peel Region. I'm your host, Adrienne Beaudry, and today we're talking about family volunteering and how to make it fun and meaningful. Over the course of today's program, we'll be speaking with representatives from Volunteer MBC, from Evergreen, and from Knights Table. So joining me today is Shaminda Perera, Manager of Community Engagement at Volunteer MBC, as well as Ebony Wright, who's the Coordinator of Community Engagement, and her lovely daughter, Akaila Wright, who is a volunteer as well. So thank you to all three of you for joining us today.
Thank you for having us here.
Good, welcome. So we've been running a number of these shows today, which I know our friends in TV Land have been watching each single one. But let's just start off with a little refresher for our new friends who may not know what Volunteer MBC is. So maybe, Ebony, could you tell us a little bit about Volunteer MBC?
Yep. So Volunteer MBC is a local volunteer center for Mississauga, Brampton, and Caledon. And we have 3 core services. So we have our referral unit, where anyone in the community can arrange to meet with a volunteer engagement assistant, and we will help them to find a volunteer opportunity that matches their skills and interests. We also provide a lot of training programs for volunteer engagement professionals in Peel Region to support their volunteers. And we also engage with corporations who are looking to volunteer in the community. And we also do a lot of training and presentations, outreach in the community with organizations and schools.
Sounds busy. That's great. And for people who want to come in for that referral, is there a fee for that?
No, the referral service is free of charge to anyone. All they need to do is call and make an appointment.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much. And so today we're talking a little bit about family volunteering. And Shaminda, maybe we'll start with you because I know you do some volunteering with your family as well. So maybe can you tell us a little bit about some of the benefits to volunteering with your family?
Certainly. Well, it's no secret that we live in a very busy world, and sometimes having time with the family is, is something that you really look forward to. And what a good way to spend time with your family through volunteering. So it's an opportunity to spend time with your family while you're giving back to the community. And also, while you're doing that, it fosters the good values and the principles, among your family unit. And also, when your children are involved, especially the kids are involved, you are leading by example, and you're showing them the positive way, the sense of community, and you're creating sort of like a legacy.
That's wonderful. That's great. And so, where have you volunteered?
Well, there are 2 platforms that I volunteer in. One is through work, and most of our staff at Volunteer MBC, we are involved with some community service initiative or the other. And there are many times that we tag our families along with us. But for me personally, the family was volunteering along with me, but for me I was representing work. So I wanted to volunteer somewhere where it was pure volunteering. And that's when I joined the Mississauga Cooksville Lions Club. And the essence of being a lion is to serve in the community. And we have many community service initiatives, and all our families get together in those initiatives. So it's an opportunity for me to bring the family along together and spend time while you're giving back to the community.
That's wonderful. That's great. And thank you for what you do. And thank you to your family. So, and Ebony, I know that you and Akaila have come out to lots of different events and whatnot. Maybe can you tell us about different ways that families can get involved and volunteer, different things that they could do maybe?
Well, I think probably the easiest thing for families to do is to volunteer within their community. I think it's a great way for parents to learn and meet with other parents in their community and learn what programs or services are offered, but also for their kids to meet their friends who also live in their community. And there's a variety of things they can do. Also, I know environmental opportunities are usually popular among families. And also doing a food drive together. A lot of elementary schools start off in engaging young students in doing food drives. So for families, that's also a good way to show their kids how, I guess you could say, the steps to create their own food drive.
That's wonderful.
So, yeah.
And as a parent, what do you see as some of the benefits? What have you seen?
I would say the biggest benefit is it provides a learning experience. It provides an opportunity to have a conversation with your child about those things that they might not necessarily explore in school. So whether it's about poverty or helping less fortunate, or even raising awareness
Yep.
in the community. That would be the biggest benefit.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And so, Miss Akaila, I know you've been involved with your mom and volunteering in all sorts of different places. Where have you volunteered? And why do you volunteer?
One place I remember we volunteered was at the food bank.
Mm-hmm.
It was really fun. Like, yeah, it seemed pretty fun to shelve the food, and it seemed like a good opportunity to help the families that need food or can't afford it.
Yeah.
And I volunteer because it's a fun experience, and when I volunteer I feel proud because it makes me feel helpful.
It is. Well, and it's very helpful what you do.
Yeah.
Have you seen any benefits when you volunteer with your mom?
Yeah, a lot.
Like what?
I've realized that it's helped us to help each other more,
Yeah, in
and
what
that
way?
many ways, like at home, if one of us need help, then we help each other, and it's kind of helped me to understand the true meaning of caring.
Oh, you are such an eloquent kiddo. I shouldn't say kiddo, but you are very eloquent. What's been your favorite thing that you've done?
Well, other than the food bank, I think that my favorite thing was getting everything together. Like if supplies were needed, I helped with supplies. If I had to go and gather people together, that was pretty fun. But my main favorite part was making new friends, and especially because most of the people there were older than me.
Yes.
So it was pretty magnificent how I could get along with all of them.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And so, Ebony, maybe between you or Shaminda, can you tell us, how does Volunteer MBC help families? So our friends who are watching right now, how does Volunteer MBC help families connect to volunteer opportunities?
Well, if a family is able to go on our website, we have our opportunities sorted by area of interest, and family and group volunteering is one of them. So anyone in the family can create a profile and be updated weekly on opportunities that match their skills and interests.
And if if they don't see something that they like or that seems like would fit their family, what should they do?
Oh, they can give us a call anytime, and the entire family can come on down to our office, and we can help them find something.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, and building on that, Adrian, we also, as the volunteer center, we connect with our member organizations, and we try to encourage the member organizations to create these family volunteering opportunities as well. And we show them, how that, with whatever their programs are, we show them how it's the same concept of, bringing in a group to volunteer. But preparing for a family may be different because there may be children who are under 12 involved. So through our programming, through our professional development programs and our conversations with these organizations, we try to help them in creating those opportunities. And some of them are very good. They have their solid programs.
Yep.
But it's a conversation that we have with them.
That's wonderful. And so, Akaila, I want the last word to go to you. So for our friends who are sitting out there who maybe aren't volunteering or haven't volunteered with their families, what's your words of advice for them?
Well, I think that you can join, just go to Volunteer MBC, but if you do join, make sure that you stay committed to it, because it's to me it seems very important.
That's wonderful. And I don't think we could say anything further. So thank you to each one of you for coming and joining us today. I think we're going to take a quick break, and we will join you back on I Care, I Volunteer here on Rogers TV. Welcome back to I Care, I Volunteer. Joining me now is Christine Martin. She's the Senior Manager of Volunteer Engagement with Evergreen. Thanks for joining us here today.
Glad to be here.
Glad you could join us. So, and today we're talking a little bit about family volunteering and how families in Peel can get involved with organizations. Let's talk about Evergreen. What can you tell me about your organization? Who are you? What do you do?
So Evergreen's been around for close to 25 years. We're a national charity, so we work across the country in a variety of ways. Most people in the Toronto area know us now because of Evergreen Brickworks, which is where we're based in the Don Valley in Toronto. But we do events across the GTA, and really the focus of the kind of work that we're doing is about bringing people out in nature to make our cities better, sustainable cities, greening events, that sort of thing.
That's great. And I have seen, when you mentioned Evergreen Brickworks, I was wondering if the two of you were connected.
Yes, we're the same organization.
Excellent. Great. So let's talk a little bit about family volunteering, and how does Evergreen engage families to be involved?
Right, so Evergreen involves volunteers in a wide variety of ways, and we don't have a specific family volunteering program, but certain things that we do are really suitable to volunteers, with coming with their kids, with their parents, even grandparents sometimes. So some of the ways that we involve them would be in, say, planting events, greening events. We also have, at our site at Evergreen Brickworks, we have a lot of sort of community festivals and so on. So we would see families coming down to, say, be welcoming people together or helping out in our children's garden. So quite a wide variety of ways, but I would say primarily, especially in Peel, it's the families who are coming out, say, to come and plant trees or take out weeds and have a lot of fun outside.
Oh, that's great. Especially, I think back to when I was a kid, my mom wouldn't let me go into the garden because the weeds and the plants look the same. So I'm sure you help people figure out which is to stay and which is to go.
Yes, absolutely. So whenever one of these events happens, anyone who's coming, and it could be any member of the community who can come, so families will come, and the person who is leading the event will provide lots of information about what they're doing that day, about the local park they're working in, what to take out, what not to take out, and how to plant a tree.
That's great. And I like that you mentioned the multi-generational. So, young children, grandparents, extended family, I'm sure, are all welcome.
Yes, absolutely.
And is there an age limit down at the lower end of things? How young can we have our kids coming?
Basically, as long as you're prepared to work with your own kids. Our line is about at 14. We ask that people come with a parent or guardian. Above that, as long as you have parental permission, we do take youth volunteers as well.
Wonderful. So tell us about some of the families you've worked with or met.
Well, there's a really wide range. One of the families that volunteered with us this year was a new Canadian family. They'd only been in Canada for a month, and this was a way for them to kind of get to know their community and give back to Canada. They didn't hardly even speak English, so that's one kind of group that we might have. One of the really cool stories that happened that I heard about this year was a mother and a son who came out, and the son has some exceptionality, some challenges, and he was really excited to come out, and really shy, quiet kind of guy. So he came to one of our greening events, and he just really blossomed through the event. The mother was telling us about how much he came out of himself. He was able to do some things on his own, which had never happened. So that kind of experience.
Oh, that's great. So if a person has a disability or anything along those lines, they're still able to be involved?
We do try to accommodate as much as we can. We do work in public parks, so we're dealing with dirt and soil and so on. So there are some limitations, but certainly kids as young as 2, people come with their teenage kids as well. So it's a range, but we do try to accommodate as much as we can.
Wonderful. And so what are some of the tips you would give to a family that right now are thinking about getting involved?
So I think number one is, what does your family like to do? What do you like to do? I'd really encourage families, especially if the kids are a little bit older, to talk to them about what they're interested in. So what are the issues that they care about, whether it's health or nature or whatever it might be, because that's going to drive their passion. So that's one area. I think another tip I would say is, what do you like to do? Like, the last thing you want to be doing is, if you like to be outside, let's find an opportunity for you to be outside. But if you like to be more quiet, let's try to find a match for that. And something that both the parents and the children, or whatever the family makeup is going to enjoy together.
Absolutely, that's great. Have you noticed, or have families told you about any challenges that they've run into?
Well, I think finding that match is the key, right? And often in our very busy lives, it's scheduling is a big factor. Kids today are really, you know, they have programs and school and homework and so on. So I'd really encourage families to try to not overdo it, to maybe bite off some small pieces that they can achieve maybe during the holidays, on the weekend, that sort of thing. So I think scheduling is a big challenge. And maybe just finding the opportunities is sometimes a challenge. So it's really great to contact your local volunteer center and get to know your community, right? Like, what do you see in your community, whether it's the local library or your food bank or the local park, that kind of thing.
Absolutely. And so for our friends who are interested in volunteering with a greening event or getting involved with Evergreen, what's the process? How do they get involved?
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. We list all of our greening events on our website. Depending on the time of year, we have different kinds of events. So in the spring and fall, so we usually start around Earth Day, the end of April.
Very
logical. When the ground is thawed, and we'll be doing a lot of tree planting, planting shrubs, wildflowers, that kind of thing. And in the summer, we tend to shift over to maintenance. So those opportunities are all listed on our website on a calendar, and you can just sign up. There's no forms you have to fill it out except just to register with us.
Wonderful. And so when a family arrives, do they need any special equipment or anything along those lines, or training or knowledge?
Yeah, I mean, everyone can come, and it's really good to come with closed-toed shoes, dress for the weather. We've planted in snow, we've planted in sleet, we've planted in rain, and in hot sun. So it's always good to be prepared for the weather, but we'll train everybody on everything they need to know. And that's the great thing about these opportunities, is you're getting to learn. You're getting to know more about your local habitat and ecosystem and how it all fits together, and why these kinds of greening initiatives are really valuable for our whole environment.
Absolutely, and I think that more and more we're aware of the challenges and the fact we need to make sure we take care of the space that we occupy, and this sounds like a really great way to do it.
Yeah, for sure.
I know on your on your website you have a couple of short blog articles to help families, give them some tips, or what are those for?
Well, they're really just some storytelling about some of the experiences that volunteers have had as families with us. So what they like about it, how much fun they've had, the impact it's made on them as a family and as for their kids.
That's wonderful, and I love the fact that, you can tell you're very passionate about what you do, because you're very excited and talking about the fun. And I think that when we are able to spend time away from our house with our families, doing something that impacts and makes the community better, that's great. So we'll encourage people to give you a call or send an email or follow you online.
Absolutely.
And so I thank you so much for coming out today.
Great.
And we're just going to take a short break, and we'll be back with more I Care, I Volunteer on Rogers TV. Welcome back to I Care, I Volunteer. Joining me now from Knights Table is Lena Shaw. She's the Employment and Volunteer Coordinator. Monique Huggins, who's the Program Manager, as well as Sheila Sheard and Sarah Clarke, who are volunteers with Knights Table. So thank you, ladies, for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having us.
Well, we're glad you could come. And so I think as we're talking today a little bit about family volunteering, and I know the two of you are niece and aunt, so I think that's wonderful that you're able to join us. Lena, can you start us off and tell us a little bit about Knights Table?
Sure. Knights Table has actually been around for 25 years. We just finished celebrating our 25th anniversary. And a little bit of fact that people may not know, that the actual first meal that was served at Knights Table was craft dinner.
It was craft dinner.
Craft dinner, yes.
Is it still being served?
Of course, on occasion.
It is a staple. It
yes,
really
it is.
Excellent. That's wonderful. And so maybe you could tell us a little bit about the programs that you run and what you do.
Well, we started off with one meal, but now we are open 365 days a year. Mm-hmm. We start off with breakfast, which is served 8 to 10 every morning, and then we move into lunch from 12 to 6 Monday to Friday, and then 12 to 4 Saturday, Sunday, and holidays. We are open 365 days a year. I have to stress that, because people eat every day, so we're open every day, so therefore we need volunteers every single day of the year.
Absolutely, that's
Yes.
fantastic.
Yes.
That's great. And where are you located?
We're at 287 Glidden Road, Unit 4, and our website is available. If you can contact us, if you want to volunteer, go under the volunteer tab, online forms. You'll find the volunteer agreement, volunteer policy guide, and volunteer application form.
Sounds like a lot on there. Maybe
But
a
it's
phone
only
call
one
first.
thing. Well, sure, 905-454-8725.
Fantastic. And Monique, maybe you can give us a little more information about what your role is at Knights Table.
For sure. I'm program manager at Knights Table, and we are working on revitalizing and adding on more programs. So we have our Family Zone program, which is a very popular program. It helps to engage families with activities that are interesting, that are fun, that can build on their social skills and recreational skills and just different skills to support them. That's our Family Zone programs, and that's Wednesdays from 4 to 5:30. And we also have a tutoring program that we're working on, and our tutoring program helps support children in the community to help support them with their work, specifically in reading, writing, and mathematics. We also have our Seniors in Action program, where we are able to pair our vibrant seniors with our families so that we can have that intergenerational mentorship and that connection. The seniors learn and give to the families and vice versa. So it works for everyone.
Lovely. And do you have families volunteering in all different areas throughout your organization, or are they just in one or two particular programs?
No, we do. We have volunteers, and we need volunteers for so many different roles. We have programming needs, not only to help to support to facilitate the program, but also in preparing for the program. But we also have our food bank area. We have our administrative area. We have our cooking area, our kitchen area, and we have other programs that we're looking to expand. We have our breakfast club, which is our kids' breakfast club at Norton Lake, where both Sheila and Sarah volunteer. And we're also looking to expand our programming to involve families and seniors at our Norton Lake location.
That's excellent. Great. And so that's a lovely segue. Thank you. So Sheila, you volunteer with the breakfast program at Norton Lake.
I do. I got involved with Knights Table about almost 4 years ago through our church.
Wonderful.
Started volunteering at Glidden Road and did all aspects of cooking, serving in the food bank, weighing food, stocking shelves. Then went to Shoppers World at the community booth, reached out to people there, talked to people walking by, informing them what Knights Table does. But my love is the kids' breakfast program. It's a couple hours in the morning. You get to meet the kids, you cook, you clean, you serve them, and get to know them and their families, which is awesome. I absolutely love it.
That's wonderful. You can hear it in your
I
voice.
do. It's just, it's
And
lovely.
perhaps you demonstrated how much you love it with your niece sitting next to you.
She's taken the bull by the horn. She's awesome.
Thanks.
And so your aunt introduced you to Knights Table?
Yeah, so I started 2-3 times a week, and then I got the opportunity to become the program coordinator of the Kids Breakfast Club at Norton Lake. And so for the past few weeks, I've been going in 5 days a week, 6 to 9.
5 days a week.
Yeah.
Wow.
But you know what? You wake up in the morning and it's worth it. It's worth every second of being awake at the crack of dawn, before dawn. Helping kids, giving them food, having full tummies before they go to school. It's really great. It's really
That's
awesome.
wonderful.
Yeah.
And I think I'll ask the both of you, what do you think you've learned, or what skills have you developed volunteering?
A lot of compassion.
Absolutely.
It's opened my eyes what goes on in Peel region that I had no idea about.
Yeah.
It's been an education, and I think it's made me a better person because they have taught me so much more than I can give to them.
And they have no idea. They have no idea. They just come for breakfast, and you see these kids and you connect with them. You become friends with them and you mentor them. I have found that I've been mentoring a lot of kids subconsciously just by getting to know them. And you learn to love them and they love you back. And it's really, really great.
That's wonderful. I think that really is a big point, that sometimes when we volunteer, we have no idea the impact that we make in the lives that we change, which is wonderful. And so are the two of you usually together when you're volunteering, or do you started together as a family and now you've each developed your own path?
Well, because I'm coordinator, sometimes I don't have too many volunteers in the morning,
Yeah.
which is why we always need volunteers. And I'll just call her up because she's always up. And I'm like, please come help me.
Is she always
So-
up because she's waiting for you to call?
Probably. That's how much she loves me.
Oh,
Actually, to have my niece coordinate this program, it's just warmed my heart because I can see where she's going to go in her career and her life, and it's really I'm proud of her.
That's
I really
wonderful.
am. Yeah.
And we've had a couple other families on previously and talking, and with younger kids, and so it's nice to see sort of older kids. You'll always be your mom's kid. You know
Yeah.
that. I'm
Yes.
still my mom's kid.
Yep.
And so it's really nice. Do you find that it's helped you sort of decide what your career path might be? Or?
Yeah, I actually want to go into law, so it's not exactly totally working with kids, but it's more about having a passion for people. I have my degree in history, so I already have a passion for people, but more learning about it. But this time it's more hands-on. So, yeah.
That's wonderful. So what would your message be? So our friends who are watching today, what's your message to them about getting involved as a family volunteering?
If I had to tell somebody about getting involved, it only takes a few hours a day. Get up in the morning, you go do your job, or whatever time of day you're going to do it. It only takes a few hours. It's so rewarding.
It is.
And you get so much back.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
wonderful. And so from the program side of things, what kind of volunteers are you looking for? What's the process like? I know you mentioned there's lots of forms to go through, but maybe just in the last few moments that we have together, what's the process? Who are you looking for? What's the time commitment? Because 5 days a week is it's a big commitment.
Yes.
So does everyone need to do that? Or?
No, not really. Basically, we're looking for anywhere from teenagers who want to do community hours, maybe from 16 to 60. It does not matter. If you have 2 to 3 hours that you can commit, even if it's just once a week, give us a call. We'll be able to do the interview. We'll do an orientation, and then we'll get you started. Because depending on what it is that you want to do, I'm sure that we have a program that will fit what you like to do.
And you don't need to be able to cook, right?
No, everything. No, you don't need to. You don't need to be able to cook. We do have mentors and also other people who've been there for a while who know what to do. And also we have the operations manager. She's got hands-on, so she's there all the time, giving us guidance. Yes.
That's fantastic. I know some people who have maybe less than stellar skills in the kitchen, and I won't name names. Well, now we're awkward.
You're talking about me again?
Sorry. But I want to thank each of you for coming today and sharing your stories, your passion, and I really would encourage everyone to bring their family and get volunteering and get active to find what works for you and to give the Knights Table a call. So a big thank you to each of you for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. And a big thank you to all of our friends who are watching today for joining us on I Care, I Volunteer here on Rogers TV. Please check out Volunteer MBC at volunteermbc.org if you'd like to find volunteer opportunities with the Knights Table or the other organizations we've talked to today, or if you just need help finding the right activity. So thank you for your time, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Take care.